We are live. So, hello.
Are we really?
I know, it's scary, right? We're live.
Ooh, spooky.
I'm scared.
Finally, YouTube works. Vegas has been waiting for us to go live. All right. All right. So, hello, everybody. Arctic here with the Three Nerds podcast. Huh?
You forget what we're on?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, what we're doing. So yeah, I'm Arctic, and this is Lazrpo and R-Gamer. If you guys want to go through your own introductions after I just introduced you.
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Lazrpo, and I come to bring the enthusiasm. Good on ya. There's no more cameras. I just thumbed up the camera for no reason.
I just bring the
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's R-Gamer from New York City, and I'll actually tell you this. Build cheeses and random stuff. I started.
Now, look. We got to keep these people from New Jersey out of New York. We have to build a wall. We have to build a wall across the Hudson River. You see?
No. We need to build more than that. We actually have to build a wall in space.
There you go. You got to keep the aliens off our planet.
Exactly.
All the illegal aliens coming to probe our women.
Oh, gee.
Oh.
I'm already going to have to tap.
It's not too bad. Oh, gosh. So we've definitely, I think for once we've got a broad, not for once, because last week we did a really good job. So I think this week we've also got a pretty good job of keeping a broad range of topics.
Yeah. I'm also the new member here. Still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the new member here. Since last week you were a special guest, and at the end of last week's cast you just became permanent.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone say hi, new member. Hi, new member.
Hey, me.
Hi, new member.
Yeah. Oh, wait. There's no one in the chat right now. Okay. Whatever.
Well, Vidus is there.
Is he?
Yeah. He says, hey, peoples with a Z.
Yeah, hey, peoples. It's so goth. It's so goth. Our new member. Just remember, he's on a 10-second delay and a language barrier.
I'm Vetus.
That was mean. I'm sorry, Vidus. Oh, I need to stop drinking the hot tea like straight out of the thermos and burning my chest.
I mean, unless you want to.
No, because it hurts every time, and I just keep forgetting how hot it is. Because it's like, here, I'll let it sit for 10 minutes to cool down. No, it's a thermos. That's not how it works.
It sounds like a fun trip to the intensive care unit.
Oh yeah, probably. Oh dear, what other? Oh, okay, that was just Vidus liking the podcast being live. Okay, that's not as bad. There you go. If you, R-Gamer, if you want to know what I sent him, you can take a look in your Twitter DMs, and you'll get something good to laugh at. How are you going to make visual puns without webcams? Oh dear. Well, how does Spider-Man make? Never mind. I was going to make a web joke, and it's just like, this is the internet, worldwide web. Spider-Man can get anywhere in an instant.
You know what? I got this. Vidus, the way that we make visual puns without webcams is that they're all done sparsely.
Oh.
Because that's the thing on me. That's a Dunsparce.
Oh,
Pokemon.
And here I am just with a typo.
Chips.
Chips.
Yeah. Again, I've already mentioned that I actually have a strange habit of censoring myself. I'm about to cuss.
Oh, trust me. The amount of cussing I do is directly proportional to whether or not to the proximity of my grandmother.
Okay, then.
If my grandmother is awake, if my grandmother is nearby, I will watch my mouth. I will not cuss. Because, and you can ask other people who've heard her go off on me in the past,
Yeah.
she will flip out when she hears cuss words.
That's why you just walk around and say all of the closest things you can to cuss words. Right?
Okie dokie, then.
I'm sorry, I want to test your grandmother.
Oh, dear.
I mean, you've already heard me say some pretty bad stuff in front of her.
Uh-huh.
I can go deeper.
I can go deeper, too. I just don't like to. It makes my chest vibrate, and it feels weird.
That was funny.
The oh, God, no. Fuck that. No. Gosh. I can go higher, but, you know, I got to be careful not to go too high, otherwise I'll end up in the ICU.
I am ready.
There's an allergy joke that no one gets.
But
right.
Tish.
But tis. Oh, apparently this is mad I never finished my Spider-Man joke. All right, so what's the first topic that we're going to talk about? Do we want to talk about that one thing? Do we want to talk about that thing that just triggered me today, or do we want to start with our gamers thing?
Hey, wait! Before we do that, remember what I just told you before we started this shiz.
Oh dear,
I'm scared.
That's
right. Do you want an intro?
Today we have the day.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, there we go.
That works.
History of the day by little R here is you guys know Adolf Hitler, right?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Most famous guy in the entire world, very, very infamous. Now, did you guys knew that his first name doesn't exist?
What?
It doesn't?
Yeah, because apparently his original first name was pretty cringy. And it turns out his first name is none other than Burr.
Bert?
I'll take some shivel goober with cheese, please.
He gets me. Yeah, that was Hitler's original name, Schibelgruber.
Okay.
Shivel goober.
Yeah, that was my.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, does it?
I'm so lost.
I don't know. I just thought that would make sense, but guess not.
It probably did for everyone other than me. For me, it went so far over my head that it took out the plane that was flying over my house.
But yeah, that was my history of the day.
You've got me on Hitler's Wikipedia page because I thought you were serious.
Well,
anyways, with the topics.
It's an actual thing, though, Jay.
Okay, I'm so lost, but okay.
Okay, fine. Here's the Wikipedia thing. Hitler's father, Alois Hitler Sr., was the illegitimate son of Maria Anna Schickel. What R-Gamer said. The baptismal register did not show the name of his father, and Alois was initially born alone. Alois initially bore his mother's surname, Schicklgruber.
Oh, I see. Oh, whoa. I see what you're talking about now. Adolf
Yes.
Schicklgruber.
I mean, bear
This is really entertaining.
in mind, I had to fact check it myself because I didn't know this, but that's actually pretty cool.
I thought that was a joke. Holy cow, that's weird.
It's a joke, but it's real.
I can't take this shit. This is kind of like a mind-blown thing.
Are you guys talking about Hitler to get on the media or something? If I wanted to talk about Hitler to get on the media or something, we would just talk about my Twitter conversations from earlier.
Oh, hashtag Adolf Schicklgruber.
Adolf Schicklgruber.
Can we just get a hashtag Hitler did nothing wrong going on here so that way we can get this up to 2 million likes?
Can we get this? Yeah, can we get a hashtag?
Yeah, get this to 2 million like.
Let's just make it hashtag Schicklgruber Gruber did nothing wrong so that no one knows what we're talking about. How goes it with Keemstar? I don't think Keemstar ever read that tweet that someone did like another tweet I did at him.
No, just spam it like crazy.
Oh yeah, spam Keemstar. That's just how you end up on his block list.
Well, shiz.
No, in my live stream today, I was making a whole bunch of jokes about Keemstar because there's this part where there's a in-game cinematic where you have a news person and all this other stuff. And so I'm just sitting there, it's like, oh wow, Keemstar's gotten old. And look, he's got his hair back, but he shaved his face. Oh, look at those drone shots. He must have asked Casey Neistat to do those for him. I was just being a dork. And so freaking Lazrpo tweets Keemstar saying that I'm saying bad things about him in stream.
Yeah, about that. Here, check this out. Here, I'm going to throw it in the chat. Now also throw it to Vidus.
Keemstar did nothing wrong. God damn it.
I'm loving this.
You're gonna get blocked by him at some point.
Worse, he'll probably put you in drama alerts.
Three small YouTubers start picking on Keemstar in a live stream podcast next week. Keemstar on the Three Nerds podcast.
And now he has files on top of files.
Files on top of files. Well, you know what? I have at least 3 nail files here at my desk, so bring it.
I hope I get Keemstar's attention someday.
I'm not sure I want to get his attention that way.
Yes, and once we get Keemstar's attention, then sooner or later we'll get Leafy's attention soon enough, and then he'll be roasting all 3 of us. One.
Why? Leafy hasn't been relevant for months. It'll be Pyrocynical that roasts us.
Wait, Keemstar is actually streaming right now.
Oh, fuck. No. No.
I have to join a site. That's not fair. Oh, I can sign in with Facebook.
Oh, dear. Oh, good. Good. Fuck. He's playing Rust. I can live with this.
Okay, so what's the first topic we're going to talk about?
I don't know. Oh, fuck.
Arctic.
What? What? Huh? Do you want to go with mine first? My trigger-happy conversation?
Sure, I just got a cluster mashup of just random sounds on this side, so...
You can't hear you can't hear this, can you? What I'm listening to?
No.
Okay, yeah, this isn't OBS, so it shouldn't pick up. As long as I'm not using OBS. Oh dear, what the fuck just happened? I got a notification. Oh.
Yeah, it's me.
Better not be Keemstar.
It's my tweet.
No, Danny commented on a picture I posted on Facebook.
It's my tweet, tweetheart.
Oh dear, how bad's your tweet getting?
It's not doing anything. I'm a nobody.
Good. I don't know. I'm a nobody, and my fucking Twitter blew up. Anyways, so let's.
You said the first F-bomb.
God damn it!
It's a 3 Nerds podcast first.
Yeah, I did say the first F-bomb for the freaking podcast. Isn't that amazing? Oh fuck! There's the second one. Some idiots are talking mad trash. I remember Jay was the only one talking false media. Lazrpo exposed. Oh. All right. Let's get into this topic. Let's get into this actual topic before this just becomes a trashed podcast.
This has just become a shit post already. So, but
I'm trying to pull us out of this nosedive. I'm trying. Let's see if I can pull this off. So. Mind you, I found this out from a shit post of their own. Can you call Breezy anything but a shit post?
Breezy's not really a shit poster so much that, her YouTube channel is nothing but memes.
Okay, so
her YouTube's a shit post.
Okay,
but her Twitter isn't.
No, her Twitter isn't. But still, I don't know. Have you seen some of her Twitter videos? They're funny as shit.
Cut me some slack. I'm trying really hard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yes, she has some great stuff going on there.
Anyways, I found out because she just happened to pop up in my timeline today. That's an issue that really aggravates me is, oh my gosh, someone stop. Sorry. That apparently Trump, Donald fucking Trump, decided to see way back in the olden times of 2016. Let's add a joke in there. That way people don't think I'm too serious.
It's even mid 2016. It's not even a year.
I know. Freaking Barack Obama, the great and most powerful, awesome black president to ever be black or president. And he was only half black. Anyways, sorry, I keep derailing this in other directions than where I intend to.
This is as bad as the Carrie Fisher stuff.
I know, right? Oh.
Peter said Donald Trump ruined Donald the Duck for me.
Donald Trump did ruin Donald Duck for me.
Donald Duck was a Nazi.
I did not see that coming. Anyways, way back then, in 2016, Obama basically made a statement that said to the effect of it was actually really a declaration. I don't know exactly what you'd call it, because there was no actual real legal action, but essentially what they did was they said something to the effect of every public school in a district, in a county, etc., needed to allow transgender students to use the bathrooms that match their gender identity. I don't see an issue with this. No one should see an issue with this, but at the same point in time, people like me just freaking hold it in for 5 hours so we can go home. Anyways, so this was done to kind of just make things comfortable for students. So students had a place to go where they could feel comfortable, they could feel safe, blah, blah, blah. And it laid out some rules to help protect them. Do I necessarily agree with like government reaching out and going, here, you must cater to them? No. I've been over this before, that when it comes down to it, don't you mean African-American president? God damn it, Vidas. Anyways, I don't like the whole idea of like, an employer being told if, you use the incorrect pronouns, you're fined. I don't like the idea of really pushing hard on a lot of this stuff and trying to make things a big headache for everybody. I don't like making things a headache for everybody. I will typically take the headache on myself and let everyone else be more comfortable. But at the same point in time, there does need to be a line drawn, and a line drawn for safety of an individual, especially a student, a kid, or something like that. So Trump decided that he was going to reverse that declaration, reverse that statement, and basically say it's a state issue, not a federal issue, so we need the states to decide what they want to do when it comes to the restrooms. Which is a great idea for, like, what was it, North or South Carolina that, that passed a law about that. Yeah, that's great for people who live there, or great for people in, like, the southern states that are a little more closed-minded, depending on the state. I mean, we could use Arkansas as an example, I guess. It's not like I have family in Arkansas. Oh shit! Wait. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually why I picked that state. When it comes down to it, is what is going on in our comments section? Basically, what it comes down to is this has already been allowed. So think about the girl or the guy who's been using their restroom, that restroom all year. And now suddenly this comes down, and so that school is now no longer scared to tell them to use the other restroom. And so someone who's been comfortable for 7-8 months, I'm not sure how many months is into the school year yet, so forgive me, 5 months, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We're stating a point here. They have been comfortable for X amount of months. They've been able to be themselves for X amount of months, and then suddenly this small minority of people is now being forced to shift back in some areas, in some schools, in some instances. And that is just utter fucking bullshit. Trump said that he was, pro-LGBT and blah, blah, blah. And this is one of the first steps I've seen him take to really not show. It's one of the first times I've seen him since he got in office really go backwards on something he said. And it's pissing me off because it's an issue I truly care about.
Well, and to be fair, you should care about it because, that's the one thing that we wound up hearing from Trump saying, initially that he supports his LGBT people. And it's just strange, if anything, to see him backpedal like this because he hasn't backpedaled like this yet. And then all of a sudden, this has happened. Yeah,
well, now I at least know he supports his LGBT people. His LGB people. Fuck the T.
What can I say? The worst part about electing presidents is the fact that you don't have a direct bond with them. They just tell you what they say their plans are, and you go through with the motions, and that's how it all pans out. Who would have thought that this would have been something that was going to happen? I didn't see it happening because I figured that he was at least I don't want to say useless, inexperienced enough to not let something like this happen so fast. And especially the timing, because you thought the we call them the snowflake crowd. We thought the snowflakes were going to freak out before, or did freak out before. This not only targets the snowflake crowd, the non-binary, gender-neutral, genderqueer, everything crowd, but this strictly targets trans people.
Yeah.
And what can I say? This is, if anything, like, for on my side, it's surprising. I mean, I know you're not the biggest fan of Trump, and especially not now. But I was willing to give him a chance, and well, so far he's not, like, it just became 2 months, or 1 month in, and he's already caused a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not been pro at all. I know there's nothing that we can do, so I'm going to sit here and wait. This is one of those times where it's like, well, what the...
It's a pretty what the fuck territory.
Yeah.
Trump wants to have only white straight males and some women that are not immigrants to have the perfect vision, the perfect nation. Just like Hitler wanted to kill all the Jews and spread of white-haired Germans.
Really? Are we making a Hitler and Trump comparison right now?
Whoa, Vitus.
Pretty extreme, eh?
That was a pretty strong statement there.
That was.
You know, that's not what people. It's not what people haven't been saying for the last like 8 months or so.
No, that's not at all what they've.
I mean, people have been pretty open about their feelings toward the Trump man.
I've just been trying, as I said, I've been trying to bite my tongue and not and just let things go. And at the same point in time, like when it comes down to all of this, one of the biggest things is I was hoping that nothing this stupid would come from it. And while this doesn't directly affect me because this is school and I'm not in school, so it doesn't directly affect me, but I can still sympathize with the people it does affect.
Well, yeah, because the worst part about this is that these are young minds that we're talking about. These are kids and teenagers who are having to go through these feelings. A feeling much bigger than any of us. No one's been able to directly overcome everything that comes with dysphoria and all of the time that you get. What am I trying to say? Nothing can basically equate anything else other than Jesus Christ. I had a mental flatline. What I'm trying to say is that this is a bigger problem than necessarily a state or federal issue. This is a problem that people have to face on a daily. And the fact that these kids are being forced to have the stigma put onto them that lets them know that what they're doing is wrong and they should feel wrong for it is disgusting. And, you know, the transgender... Can someone make me a moderator so I can post a link? Just the idea that transgender people have such a bad stigma toward them. And, you know, we basically fought for this, you know, not us as America, like directly, but like when Target and I know there were more. I know there were more that were trans friendly. Oh, Kroger's another one. But there were multiple different places that suddenly allowed transgender bathrooms. That's what basically led up to it being allowed in schools. And it was such a cool thing. It was a progression. And this just sends everything right back. It targets teenagers and children who feel this way and just are meant to cope with it in the same way that they had to before and basically be told that you're not allowed here.
Yeah. Hey, just to take a short break there. R-Gamer, if you want to say something in chat, I'm going to moderate you so that you can post links or anything you want in chat, and you can kick people from the comments.
Okie dokie.
I just need you to say something so I can click on the tool to moderate you.
I mean, as long as you don't kick me.
He can't. You're a mod.
Maybe I just might do it now. Nah, I kid.
But yeah, it's. Oh, I've seen that GIF that freaking Vitus is posting. It's accurate.
It's getting a lot more accurate as time goes by.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the biggest reason why. I mean, as I said, it doesn't directly affect me, but it affects people I can sympathize with, and because of that, I can definitely get outraged. There's a reason I got so pissed off when I read this. There's a reason I got so outright just furious. Because I find this, yes, as you said, this is kids. This is during their development. This is just outright bullshit to be doing to them.
Yeah, it's taking how these kids and teenagers are feeling, and basically making it the equivalent to treating it that it should be basically illegal from the state. That's not cool. It's really not. And I've always felt this way too, though. It's like, who cares? Like, everybody poops, everybody pees, everybody has to do their business somewhere. So why are we making it difficult for people to do that?
Who knows? Never mind. I think I got you modded without you commenting anything. I can't guarantee anything when you. But yeah, that's just it. It's yeah. So there's that. There's that little can of just frustrated anger.
That was more than a can. That was a lot more than a can.
I at least got a lot of my anger out before the podcast, so I was able to keep it mostly clean. I mean, yes, I did drop the first F-bomb because this topic just that infuriates me that much.
That's all fucking okay.
Oh my God, you Americans with your problems not finding where to pee. I know, right? Holding it in for 4 hours because I don't want to go to the front, don't want to go to the back, and don't want to go into the break room to use the only restroom that's a single stall.
Time to bring some newspaper. just carry it.
You ever want to know why I make the bad jokes I make? It's to try and diffuse conversations like this so that they don't get nearly as serious as they can get. I may take the humor too far sometimes, but it's just because I don't like talking about stuff I don't like stuff getting as dark as it can get.
You're currently in a Twitter war with a bunch of Nazi jokes.
You're not wrong. I can tell you, when I made that tweet to Blair White, I did not expect it to go that far.
Well, it certainly did. If there's anything that it has gone, it's far. It hasn't gone much elsewhere, but
yeah, I did not expect that. It was just meant to be something short and funny. I didn't even expect a response from Blair. But then again, when I tweeted Boogie the other day, I didn't expect a response because, I didn't expect anything. And then he responded, which led to other people responding. So same concept. Same thing with Austin. Twitter has been a weird place for me in the last few days, and that's why I'm surprised Keemstar hasn't said anything. I think it's just because he's streaming.
Should I just go on the stream and tell him, hey, Keemstar?
It's trending right now.
Fuck.
Jeez. So many fucks. Well...
Anyway.
So is that the podcast?
No. I know we have at least 2 more topics. If you're a true introvert, you hold it in for weeks. Well, I mean, I don't hold it in for weeks because I go home and I can use my own bathroom. So, thank you.
See, I'll just mention what I always used to mention to everyone who would like start like talking about their bathroom habits in front of me. I would just tell them, see, I personally don't believe in giving waste to anything, so I just hold it in until it absorbs back into my body.
Doesn't work that way.
Well, everyone else that I've told that thinks that it does. They're always like, that's unhealthy. I'm like, it's not even possible.
That that is terrible because it can cause so much damage.
These are our coworkers, Jay. These are our coworkers that we deal with every single day. Responding with just as much idiocy as you'd expect from a I don't know, a Laffy Taffy joke. Transition.
Well, okay. Do we want to go on to? I think we're done on this topic for now. We might come back to it if the anger, like, suddenly just builds back up in me. But no, I think we're good to shift topics to. So I know we've got at least two more topics. I'm not sure if there are any besides those two. So, R-Gamer, you want to go ahead and take up? I know you had the one because you shared me the video.
Heck yeah. So, for some reason, I don't really have any opinion, regardless of what I just heard recently. But apparently, there's news of Sony that's actually stealing ideas from Nintendo, as they're actually working on a PlayStation Switch, according to this YouTube video I found.
Ooh,
it was crazy. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll actually leave a link in this podcast.
Well, I think I would take a PlayStation Switch.
Well, I mean, trying to do another PSP or PS Vita or another PlayStation Portable-esque item doesn't seem like it would be completely out of character for them. And I think they'd probably hold off and probably work on the preliminary stuff before they do anything and see how the Nintendo Switch does and see if they can follow suit. They've got the money.
Well, I will say that right now it's like a potential plan that they're actually doing, but the way when you look at the illustration or just what the blueprints look like for the PlayStation Switch, or well, as what the video says, it does look like what would actually look like.
Oh, it does look like a Switch.
Yeah. I think they need to be very careful with how they go through with that. If this is 100% factual, Sony needs to really watch their footing.
Yeah, because this is almost a trademark infringement.
Exactly.
No, right now PlayStation it's just thinking about making the idea. They haven't completely they don't have a 100% confirmation about this issue, because I did manage to research it a little bit, but I've also heard that they actually had some legal claims that they could be able to actually pull it off without having any copyright issues.
Well, if they execute
I'll say
right, if they execute it right and make sure not to infringe, yes, it would be entirely possible.
But yeah, it's a potential possibility that they're thinking about it. But yeah, what do you guys think in your opinion about it?
I don't hate it. First off, this article that I found from Tech Radar, I decided to give it a little bit of a look-see, and it says that the patent was filed in 2015. So, patent pending. I don't know if that would necessarily make it an issue with the Switch being a thing.
Well, apparently, I guess the issue must have actually came back. Maybe because PlayStation might actually maybe they might start talking about it again, as far as what I've learned so far.
Well,
but yeah, this was just recent news that I just gotten. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Like, I don't. I guess the one thing that I could say is I don't think it's a good idea to do it, giving Sony's, given Sony's track record. But I do like the idea, because I've always liked the idea of having Sony games on the go.
I think okay. as the person here who has owned a PSP Go, and a PS Vita, I'm not at all a Sony fan. Not at all a Sony fan. I can't say I'm a Sony fan after saying I have 2 PlayStation Vitas on the bookshelf behind me right now.
Well, you're also talking to someone who constantly criticizes you about that, who owns 3 PSPs and a PSP Go.
See? All right. So, I can't... Okay. The PlayStation Portable was a really, really, really cool concept. The PlayStation Portable was awesome. I loved the PlayStation Portable.
It was fun to hack.
Oh, it was fun to hack. And that's why the PlayStation Go came... the PlayStation Portable Go came out. Was to prevent the hacks and prevent some of that other stuff. And that really pissed off part of their community, because the part of their community that was like, well, look at what we can do with this, suddenly got told, look what you can't do with this. And so that kind of hurt them. And then what they did was they came out with the PlayStation Vita. The PlayStation Vita, what hurt the PlayStation Vita the most out of everything was its game catalog. And the reason its game catalog hurt them so much was it was not a AAA console. It was a little more powerful than a PlayStation 2 at the time where PlayStation 3 was getting old. It was a AA console because it was too expensive for a single A developer, for an indie or single A developer to create for, but was not getting the drive or the following or anything that a AAA developer would want to jump to. And so you couldn't get a AAA developer to sign on to doing anything with it. And anytime you did, what it would be, like I own Borderlands 2 for the PlayStation Vita. And what it was is Gearbox handed the port off to a AA developer and said, here, make a port for us. Take this, port it to this system. Thank you. Have a nice day. And so the issue came that there weren't enough consoles. There weren't enough sales early on because there were not enough games. Well, because there were not enough games to sell consoles, nobody wanted to make more games, so no one wanted to buy more consoles, so nobody wanted to make more games. And so the game library just started to shrivel up, and sales dwindled down to next to nothing, making it harder to convince anyone to make a game for it, which would have helped drive sales. And so really, it would have taken some developers taking a risk in doing it, but because those developers wouldn't take the risk and Sony would not hand them money and say, look, we're going to pay you for your time. Here, have, $2 million, make a game for us. Because we didn't get enough of that to fill out their library, not enough people bought for it, and the entire thing died.
But Jay, they had Lumines.
I'm not restating my entire argument. I can send you video after video that says the exact same thing I just said. Not enough games to sell it. You're not going to win. The console is beautiful, but it falls into the same category that several older consoles have fallen into too. Look at the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was actually a good console.
Oh, the Dreamcast is terrible.
The Dreamcast couldn't get enough people behind it. By that point in their cycle, Sega had chased off so many of their developers that they just could not get any games on it.
Well, Chase Off, I don't know if Chase Off is really Sony had a draw to it because the Dreamcast didn't sell well anywhere except for Japan, but then Sony managed to take all of the Japanese market because they had a DVD player in it. And DVDs in Japan weren't crazy popular yet.
But the issue comes you can't sell a console without games, and if you don't have games, you can't sell a console. If you don't have a console, if console sales aren't high enough, no one's going to make games for it.
But the Dreamcast had games.
Not enough. Not enough early enough to make anything happen. The biggest thing is the way it was launched, which was retarded, and you can't say it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was. Do you remember
because it doesn't have a brain. Duh.
Oh, fuck you. Just no. So basically, Sega released the what was it? They released that they had the Saturn, didn't they? Wasn't that the prior? Yeah, the Saturn, which the Saturn wasn't good compared to the Genesis. And so while the Saturn was going on and they were trying to get the Saturn going, Sega just said, fuck it, no, let's make the Dreamcast. And so they rushed the Dreamcast out. And then when it came time, the Dreamcast wasn't supposed to drop when it did. Neither was the Saturn. The Saturn was forced to drop early, and it caused pools of issues. And then the Dreamcast followed suit, because the whole idea from Sega was the sooner they could get it on the market, the sooner they could start making money, because Sega kept viewing it as the console was where they needed to focus, not the games. And that's where Sega themselves over. And so because they couldn't focus on getting enough games on it, because they thought, oh, if we get Sonic the Hedgehog on it, it'll do fine. We don't need to worry about anything else. Well, unfortunately, Nintendo has enough draw with their major name IPs that they can have 3 games on a console and still sell 14 million. Sega had 1.
Yeah, kinda. The big thing that always stood out for me with the Dreamcast is they made way too many consoles too fast.
Because they were aiming for console sales with nothing to drive it.
But there was stuff to drive it.
Not enough.
I was there. There was a lot of press coverage for the Dreamcast. It's just that initially what Sega wound up doing was not only did they not have the third-party support that they needed, but they did have first-party support. The big issue managed to be the fact that they threw all their money away trying to upgrade the Genesis and trying to push the Saturn. So really, the Dreamcast had a failing outright. But it's worth noting that a lot of Sega's console games, the Dreamcast console games, have been ported to higher consoles because they have a massive following.
Yes. There was 277 exclusives to the the 70 Dreamcast exclusives and 277 Sega exclusives on the Dreamcast. But when you think about it, 70 console exclusives for it launched with 14.
Yeah. A lot of consoles don't launch with a gigantic repertoire.
No, a lot of them don't. But you need to have something to make. You need to have something to give people incentive to buy. Not every I will buy a PlayStation because it's a PlayStation, but not everybody will buy a PlayStation because it's a PlayStation. Some people want there to be a game to get for it. My PlayStation only gets turned on for the exclusives I buy, so I don't have an issue going out of my way to. I'm one of those people who I know there are exclusives I will want to play eventually. At that same point, not everything falls into that same category. Not everyone falls into that same category. I mean, at least it wasn't the same as the debacle for the Wii U, where everybody thought it was one type of console and it came out and they're like, oh, wait, no, it's another type of console. Screw this noise.
Yeah, people in 2014 still thinking that the Wii U is just a Wii with a different letter at the end of it.
No, the Nintendo did such a poor job with press for that console. Even we, where I was working, at the time that was Walmart, we thought that both us and our vendors thought that, oh, look at this tablet. It's basically a Wii with a tablet, and that you're going to be able to take the tablet on to go and all this, and it's going to have more portability and all of these cool things. And then it comes out and it's like, wait, you have to be within, and you have to wait. Then what the hell? What? Why? That's what kept me from ever buying one, was the whole fact I got so hyped for what I was told it was going to be, and it came out and it wasn't what I was told it was going to be, because they did such a bad job with the press, with explaining what it was, that by the time it came out, it's just like, oh, well, never mind. And now that the Switch is coming out, and if it wasn't for the fact that they did a lot better job with press for the Switch, when I heard what the Switch was going to be, I just, oh, look, we got another Wii U, and I just stopped paying attention.
All I'll just say is, Wii U!
Yeah. We have a question from chat. Why suddenly new portable mobile consoles are coming out when everyone already has powerful phones?
I can answer that pretty well.
Go ahead.
What essentially has wound up happening, or Jesus Christ, English. What has happened was the even though the taken up a good chunk of the market, the one really, really big handheld company, Nintendo, still has a fan base that's rabid enough to buy the console to play the games. So much so that Nintendo doesn't tend to release games on mobile. They have the 2, right? Three now.
Yeah.
They have the Mario one, the new Pokemon one, not Go, because that's not Nintendo related technically, and then you also have the. Did I say Mario? Because if so, then Fire Emblem.
Castlevania. Wasn't Castlevania used to have been part of Nintendo, but then was actually overturned to another company?
It's always been Konami. I think that like back in the NES days when Castlevania first came out, Nintendo had a very strict policy that essentially overtook game companies and what they were allowed to release. So
what it was is, sorry.
No, you go ahead. You know this a lot better than I do, because I just know the very basics of it. You researched it.
So what it was is way back when Nintendo was trying to recover the game market, they had two major rules for developers. One, if you release a game for them, it cannot go to any other console. When you say I'm releasing to Nintendo, it automatically becomes Nintendo exclusive. It wasn't until I think it was Mortal Kombat, or whoever was behind Mortal Kombat, they're the ones who actually asked for permission to do both, and were like, look, we want to go with Sega, so either you let us do both or we're going to Sega.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they have this rule, but they also had a rule if you could only release 5 games a year. Didn't matter how big or little your studio was. 5 games, because Nintendo's logic was no developer should ever be able to churn out more than 5 games a year, and all 5 games be high quality. All 5 games be worth their while, worth time, and worth the customer's interest. Later, some select companies would get up to 10 when they had proved themselves to Nintendo to be capable of it. So if a company wanted to release more than 5 games, they had to basically branch off into a second company. And mind you, all games that got submitted to Nintendo had to be checked by Nintendo and basically quality checked and run against all their rules and all this other stuff. And they would send games back with notes saying, look, we need you to change all of these things, and then send it back to be retested again before we will ever release it. Nintendo had a very strict quality check before Sega screwed all of that up by basically saying, we have no quality checks, do whatever.
Ouch.
Essentially, yeah.
So Konami was stuck in, so when Konami decided they wanted to release Castlevania to NES, they couldn't release it anywhere else. It wasn't till later when that got broke because of Sega that it was able to even shift consoles.
Whoa, Sega did something good?
They did a lot good early on for the developers. I'm not going to say they did good for everyone else, but they did a lot of good for third-party developers when it came to relations with Nintendo.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
And if you talk Nintendo, if you talk Sega America did a lot good in the early 90s. It was Sega Japan that really did a good job of screwing the pooch.
Don't screw pooches. That's weird.
They're just into that kind of thing.
Yeah. But no. To go back to what Vitus was asking about, Vitus.
Good catch.
Essentially, what's happened is that Nintendo has rabid enough of a fan base that its own IPs basically help fuel the consoles so much that they don't have to actually release on phones. And because of that, and oddly enough, because of what Jay was talking about, since they're able to control their own console, they can control what goes on their console, which just so happens to mostly be first-party stuff. And they basically get to control everything about it. If you go to phones, that market is so I don't know, it's so casual and so like overblown that I don't think they're comfortable with trying to go to that market yet. So they're releasing their own stuff as a result.
Casual is a great way to word that. I mean, mind you, I can find, and I have found and played some fairly hardcore games on mobile.
Mm-hmm.
But mobile is definitely driven towards casual. That is what they aim for, is casual.
They're very few and far between, those good games.
Yes.
Or even innovative games. How many Bejeweled clones are on the App Store for Google?
I stopped trying to pay attention to that.
Because there's so many.
No, there are.
And not to mention there's so many like pay-to-win apps and so many I don't know, Farmville clones. It's just obvious that you can release an amazing title on Android. You can be the biggest company, you can release an amazing title, but it'll still get lost in the fray of Bejeweled and Farmville clones because it'll never gain popularity because people will never try it. So Nintendo doesn't want to compete, so they were making 3DS games while Sony and Microsoft fought for better graphics, and Nintendo would have to compete on mobiles as well, so they stick to their consoles and handhelds. Essentially, yeah.
I don't think that fits entirely with what Nintendo's thinking. I think that both.
I mean, it's not off. Like,
see, mind you, I could be speaking from a whole other weird edge of my ass. Who knows?
Don't speak from the edges of your ass. That's actually a very it's very smelly.
Well, how else am I supposed to keep all the people from making noise in the living room? Anyways,
Terrible.
It is terrible. So, Nintendo has been, for the longest time, very much focused on themselves. They're very good about being in more of an inward-focused company. And so they don't look at... Okay. When Sony is going, okay, Xbox is probably going to release a console that's got 4K capabilities, so we need to make sure we have a console with 4K capabilities. Shoot, and we also need to start offering a chat feature and how many gigs of RAM can we fit in this new console, and what type of graphics card can we get and still make this affordable? Nintendo's like, so what do you think people are going to want to play with? How do you think people are going to play our games? Do you think that motion controls would be a good idea? Do you think a tablet would be a good idea? How portable do you think people are going to want to take them? I know. let's make another. Let's upgrade our 3DS so that people can take their games on the road with them, and play their games curled up in the back seat of a car on a 12-hour car ride. Oh, hey, let's do these controls that can have grandma sitting there in the living room with you playing a game with you. Nintendo focuses on family fun. Nintendo doesn't focus on hardcore gamers. Nintendo has not focused on hardcore gamers really ever. I'm not going to say that there haven't been games tailored towards the more hardcore on them. I mean, Smash Bros. Is one that falls into all categories. You have hardcore elites in the Smash Bros. Circuits, but you also have casual gamers. You have people who are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, who have no issue picking up a controller and playing Smash Bros. With a 10, 15, 20, 30-year-old kid. I say 30-year-old kid when that's older than me, but that's beside the point. That's beside the point. I was just incrementing. Nintendo focuses on family. Nintendo has always focused on family and not about being the best graphics, the best sounding, the best this, the best that. They don't aim to be the ones that draw all the cool kids to the block. They're the ones that draw the families together, and that is why Nintendo... That is why the Nintendo Wii sold more than the PlayStation 3 and sold more than the Xbox 360. When the console race was going on, everyone's like, oh, look at PlayStation and Xbox head-to-head. Oh, look at these two head-to-head. And then they looked at the finish line and realized Nintendo had been there for months, years. It's Nintendo doesn't focus on trying to appeal to the hardcore. They appeal to the family.
Exactly. Essentially what winds up happening is that, I mean, Nintendo at one point, like, I guess you could say the GameCube tried to compete a little bit. Because, despite the fact that, they still had the gimmick, they had the tiny discs, they had the lunchbox that you can carry around with 4 ports in it. It still had its gimmicks, but it still also had AAA titles that were done entirely third party that were ported. So that's something that, that's like the one time that Nintendo really tried to push the whole idea of making sure that they had a quality product to like throw out there. But the thing is, I think after the GameCube, like with the Wii, they realized they don't have to compete. They don't have to try and get the highest bidder, because Nintendo fans don't tend to be super hardcore like gamers, or if they are, it's not necessarily like run and gun shoot 'em ups like modern stuff, but it's like platformers and stuff of yesteryear. Like they have an entire back catalog of stuff that they focus on. Go ahead.
Well, to try and drive off of that, there's one additional thing that I don't think people think about when it comes to Nintendo. Because Nintendo is the console that is more targeted towards kids. Because Nintendo is the more family-friendly console. And this is something Sony came out and said. Sony is willing to do anything they can to keep Nintendo there making games. Sony is willing to, if they need to, hand down anything they can to Nintendo to keep Nintendo running alongside them. Because those hardcore gamers who are playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on their PlayStation 4s, or who are playing God of War or Assassin's Creed, they had to come from somewhere. And while some of them did get thrown right into the console race with the PlayStations, if you have a parent who just kind of like didn't give them a good starting point, just kind of said, okay, here, sit down and play this. Even Sony has realized that a lot of those people got their start playing Mario. A lot of us gamers now got our start playing Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda. We got our start playing those family-friendly games, and as we matured, our taste in games, in some instances, not in all, matured with us. Some of us decided that we wanted to go on to more mature titles, while others of us were glad to stay behind in some of the more retro titles and be 27 years old playing Pokemon. It's a thing that Nintendo is the best starting point for a gamer, because it lets them learn controls, it lets them learn how to play, but without doing so in such a hand-holdy style that you think you're stuck in the beginning of Undertale for all of eternity. it's not uber handholdy, but at the same but at the same point in time, it can be just as punishing and just as friendly of a game as it needs to be.
Well, dang, you already got a tear coming out of my eyes. That was the best dang.
I may not have a Wii U, but I do have we do have two Wiis in the house. We do have two DSs in the house. I've owned every iteration of portable handheld Nintendo console from the Game Boy up. The only thing I haven't owned is a 3DS because I have a 2DS. I couldn't afford a 3DS. To say that I am a diehard Nintendo fan would be an understatement. And I'm a PC gamer.
So I guess that covers. What's up?
I was just gonna say, oh, so now you stop talking as soon as I start typing to Vitus.
I would really appreciate if 3DS had more non-childish, more not that childish games. But that's the thing. It's great for people who need a childish game to learn on. That's what makes it so good. And who's jingling freaking nuts?
Jingling nuts.
Washers, nuts, bolts. I don't know. Who's got Ratchet and Clank by the balls?
I don't know who's jingling the nuts around here.
So I guess next topic.
Well, but Nintendo's never going to release gory, hardcore games. That's just not their style.
Yeah, it doesn't target their demographic at all.
But well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Arctic.
Oh no, you said well, so it's like, okay, you have something. Go ahead.
I don't know. I am a little confused because there has been some games. I think it was made by Nintendo. I'm not entirely sure because, or I could be wrong because I know Resident Evil was first originally made on the GameCube, and then there was another game called Zombie U, which I don't know. I just thought I should throw that one out.
Well, to be fair, Resident Evil 4 was initially released on the GameCube as an exclusive. I don't know the story behind that, but I do know that the GameCube, like I said before, was kind of a like an attempt at creating an actual console that would compete with Sony's PlayStation and Microsoft's Xbox. So I can only imagine that had something to do with it.
Yeah, because the first Resident Evil was on PlayStation. The second Resident Evil was on PlayStation and Nintendo 64 and GameCube. Whoa. Nemesis.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 was also on GameCube.
Nemesis.
I don't remember why.
And then 4. And yeah, I think it was because at that time Nintendo decided they were going to go ahead and drink the Kool-Aid and try and appeal towards a higher demographic. And even now, like, we've got Skyrim potentially on the Switch. So it's not that they're going to stand there and say no to all games that could be deemed mature, but what it is they're not going to go, so we've got a sack of cash. Will you make a mature game for us? No, if you can approach them with a mature game that's not too absurd, they'll probably throw it on the console. They're just not going to push it. They're not going to drive it, and they're not going to go out of their way to fund it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and also Zombie U. Wasn't Zombie U based on an old arcade game?
Well, I've actually personally played Zombie U, but well, well, actually, I did play Zombie U, but the PS4 version that they've recently added. But it's actually a pretty neat survival game, to be honest. But remember, it was originally released with the at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I should throw that part also out too.
Oh yeah, the actually, hold on. Yeah, okay. Initially, Zombie was a game released in not necessarily arcades, but for the ZX Spectrum in 1986. So the Wii U version was actually an update from it.
Okay then.
Oddly enough.
Well, I guess that answers all my question. Okay, next topic.
Okay, the only topic I know that we have left is shifting back away from gaming. So I don't know if Lazrpo has anything else before we shift towards Milo for the last bit.
In gaming,
Gaming, tech, or anything nerdy before we shift back into media, news, and other stuff.
Well, not anything that I know of. I mean, you know me. I'm not enough of a gamer to really follow like the crazy amount of news that comes out of it. But on the flip side, I'm also a generation behind. So
I'll give you that.
even anything that I would be able to say, I don't know enough about. And I'm not a nerdy. Like I'm not super nerdy. So like I don't even belong in the podcast. See you guys.
You're nerdy. You're plenty nerdy enough, and you know it.
Oh man,
We
I just
don't.
felt I just got roasted.
Topic suggestions: shit all over Keemstar so you can get recognition and become famous. No.
Keemstar is such an okay guy sometimes.
Sometimes I'll give you that. Sometimes, mind you, right now I just clicked over to his stream and all I see is a bunch of butts. He's playing Rust.
Okay.
He's playing Rust, and everybody's naked.
All I see is a bunch of butts.
So
Oh gosh.
I want to see butts.
So the
I'm
last
4 years old.
I don't mind seeing butts, but I would rather them be non-digital. I'd rather them be like, real.
Butts look the same if they're digital or not.
That's a matter of opinion. After all the
No comment.
Hey, a nice firm male posterior, a nice firm female posterior, who cares? Anyways, I'll continue making bad jokes.
This is cracking me up. Butt crack.
Oh God.
Butt crack. It was a pun. It was a pun the entire time.
Oh God.
For once, I thought you were trying to voice act like Leafy.
No, but he can do,
buddy, but
see, he can do a really fantastic pyro voice though.
everyone thinks it's okay.
It is okay. I mean, it's pretty Oklahoma.
Stop it. All right, next suggestion.
So I guess Milo, if we're gonna go there, we were talking about this yesterday.
Oh, Milo Stewart or Milo Yiannopoulos?
They're all the same person to me.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I'm not sure who I would offend more with that sentence.
Yeesh.
Yiannopoulos would probably just look at me and Stewart would just start shaking.
Yeah, she just go into convulsions. He would just go in convulsions on the floor. Okay. Are we gonna go ahead and talk about the Milo situation?
We were talking about having that on here, and since I've already had my little like explosion about trans rights and issues, you can go ahead. We can go ahead and talk about Milo too, since that's a whole other can of worms. It's just like, oh fuck, yeah.
Well, I was only asking because we're already to an hour 14.
We just probably shouldn't carry this on for 45 minutes.
Okay. Well, that'll be easy because there's not really much coming out of it.
No, I think the script I wrote for the video I need to record probably tomorrow or this weekend is probably more than I could have gotten out of anything else.
Well, where do we start with this? Okay. Milo Yiannopoulos, he is a conservative like political figure that people seem to really seem to throw a fit about right now. Like he holds some very interesting viewpoints. He is a gay Jewish man with a black boyfriend who is considered a Nazi by the far left. And I don't even know how that works. A lot of people don't. But he has recently, I won't even say came under fire. He has been recently basically attacked by the media for a lot of the same odd reasons that, or not really the same odd reasons, but much like PewDiePie, where everyone just ganged up on him, except his was a different situation. I feel what happened, because both of these were stuff that happened in the past. I feel like the media has realized they can't get to some people, and so they're starting to try, like they're compiling a list of people that they can attack, and so they're trying to one by one. Okay, where can we go with this? Okay, so here's all the stuff Felix did. Let's go ahead and bum rush the media with this. 4 days later, okay, this whole PewDiePie thing's kind of died down. Let's go ahead and bum rush the media with Milo. Yeah, you see, that's not wrong. That's not wrong at all. It seems like that's the case more than anything. You know, they were even doing that with Trump, and now we're seeing that may have been okay, but essentially what wound up happening with Milo Yiannopoulos was that on some show he made an off-color joke, like he always does, because he's a pretty funny guy. He tries to put humor in a lot of his things. He made an off-color joke about how when he was younger, like I think the age he used was 13.
Yes.
At the age of 13, he fooled around with the priest, and he didn't see anything wrong with it because and like later on, I think he said it multiple times, which is why I don't know why it's happening now. But the clip that I seen said that he was the savage in the relationship, essentially. And because he said this, he is now being called a I forget what they call it, like a sympathizer to pedophiles or a supporter.
Something like that. Like he was saying, like pedophilia was okay. Like he's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when it was just a joke. It was a joke. He made an apology earlier this week, if not today. Like I have been looking at so many different sites with so many different dates on them about this that stuff's starting to get blurry, because I like Milo Yiannopoulos. Not so much Stewart, but I like Milo Yiannopoulos. And essentially what happened was he had a press conference. And he admitted that at the ages of 13 and 16, he had sexual relationships with older men, and one of them was a priest. And at the time, he didn't feel there was anything wrong, but looking back, he realizes that he was a victim. The thing is that he also explains that he uses humor as a coping mechanism. And by making a joke about it, he's making light of the situation that he holds to be such a bad thing. and that he's not going to stop doing it. In fact, he explicitly said that he's not going to stop making jokes about it, or trivializing taboo or something along the lines of that. But something came out of the woodworks recently, like that helped, that really makes you raise an eyebrow with the modern media and how they're perceiving this, because Milo is obviously conservative. A lot of media outlets right now are left-leaning, if not liberal. And heck, even conservative outlets are causing such a stir about this. But there was another person who made a similar joke, who is considered somewhat of a political figure, especially in the LGBT community, who said a similar statement on Howard Stern's show. And that was George Takei. Yeah, that was George Takei of Star Trek fame, who is a big LGBT activist, very gay, but it was okay for him to say this apparently, because no one's causing a fuss about it. And when he did say what he said, George Takei, what he wound up mentioning was that he lost his virginity at the age of 14 to his camp counselor, but it was okay because he was attracted to him. What? How is that okay? What the fuck is going on with the media? That it's okay for someone to make just as crass of a joke, but as soon as Milo Yiannopoulos, who has always been targeted by news media and especially the left, called a Nazi, called alt-right, just called an all-out terrible person his entire career, because he's an author. He's an author and a public speaker. Mm-hmm. For some reason, he is being targeted right now, and that's okay. But because of this, he chose to step down from his company, and I don't remember the name of said company, but he stepped down from who he worked for, and he lost his publishing deal, and all of this stuff has caused such a stir. Like I said, I compare it to PewDiePie. However, this seems to be a lot worse, because PewDiePie, in fact, PewDiePie stuff is still up in the air, because different sites still say these with Maker, especially Social Blade, because Social Blade still hasn't updated. And he can still make money off of YouTube, but Milo Yiannopoulos is on his own now. And it's just a situation where you see that there's such a bias with what's being reported out there right now. And even though there's people calling it out, nothing's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stupid. It just makes me realize that I can make jokes about let's see. I've spent part of today making Nazi jokes. I could definitely make jokes on this issue because I've already said before, wow, a year younger than I was. Good job.
See,
I can make all these jokes.
Humor is subjective, regardless of how offensive it is or not. If it's done in bad taste, it's done in bad taste, but there's no debating whether or not it's still humor. Even like Milo said, and I'm sure you do the same thing. Probably not necessarily with this subject, even though the chat seems to show otherwise. Humor can be used as a coping mechanism. It can take terrible situations, life-crippling situations, and make them okay to you. And that's okay. But apparently not if it offends one too many people and a news outlet gets a hold of it.
Look, I'm sorry, everybody in the chat. If anyone got offended by my comments in the chat, I am deeply sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Please don't report this to any news outlets, especially Drama Alert.
No one's gonna see it. It's Vitus and you.
I know that's the reason I was making a joke.
Was it a joke? I would expect a genuine fear now, because
I don't know. I need to get rid of my Twitter mentions because I'm kind of like in trouble.
Just all out balls out statement. This shit's getting ridiculous. And these are, I know it's easy to forget that these people who are being like spoken to and having such a ruckus caused about them are indeed people. Shit, it's getting ridiculous. Keemstar was actually another one who seen a lot of ridicule with this, because there were YouTube videos made about him where they were talking about abusing his girlfriend / wife, and like, wasn't there also a claim that he was a pedophile? Like that. There was a lot of random shit going on there too. Except, of course, it wasn't big star media. Like, it wasn't like gigantic, large corporation media. So it was less character demeaning. It still was, but it's just, there's not really much else to say other than it's stupid, it's dumb, it's annoying, it pissed me off, and it'll continue to make me mad. I'm starting to cool down now, so you're going to have less of an eccentric person shouting at you. You're getting dangerously close to typing some really bad shit over here, Arctic.
That's why I shifted.
Please don't turn that Z sideways.
It was not intended. Stop. Anyway,
you're only allowed to do that in hallways. Specifically loud, echoey hallways with lots of commotion.
Stop. I was hoping you'd forget about that with your lack of omega-3s. Anyways, we have our own memes. No, yeah.
Deadpool song.
Huh?
Play the Deadpool song.
Play the Deadpool song. No. I have a feeling if I did that R-Gamer would like cringe so hard that, you know, he'd fall out of his chair and through his floor cringing. It is the most cringy thing.
You should.
It's not the most cringy thing. Come on now.
It's something.
Of course, why do you think anything cringy would even affect me at all?
Because this is.
I did a cringe challenge. It literally nothing affected me.
I think this would have. If I'd had this, back then, it probably would have.
It's pretty bad.
It's amazingly bad.
Here, I can get it queued up real quick.
Well, I was just gonna send it to him.
Oh no, we can play this on the stream. Are we gonna get a copyright claim from this shit? Like, is that even possible? I have it on my phone too. I have it on Drive.
Well, who wants to play it? Me through my snowball or you through yours? Oh fuck.
Well, I'll actually say, I will say that this music needs to be improved a little bit. Other than that, you're okay. That's what I'll say.
Well, mind you, he took it. He intentionally recorded it terribly and then ran it through filters to make it worse.
Okay, this is what this is. For a while there, we had one user, and you may remember him. We have one user who would come in and say, "Play the Deadpool song."
Yes.
Play the song from Deadpool, and he would say this like 6 or 7 times during Jay's stream.
It became a meme.
It became a meme. So what I did was, I have FL Studio on my computer. I used it for actual music too. But what I did was all the keys, like basically a piano, is mapped to the keyboard. So what you can do is on FL Studio you can play like songs on your actual keyboard. So what I did was I recorded it all live and flipped my hands over and turned them backwards, and tried to make the backing track to DMX's "Gon' Give It to Ya." And this was the result. And then I screeched over it like some kind of ninny.
So what you're basically saying is that you were the one who was responsible for making this music. Well, remade it.
Yes.
X gonna give it to you! That's exactly what I'm saying.
Then I should definitely be a manager too then. We're gonna go out into the world and make it big, kid.
Ew, this is so bad. I imagine that we could probably make this a thing. If Joji Miller, Filthy Frank, can release a 35-track album of nothing but musical shitposts, I'm sure we can do the same.
Okie dokie then.
Have you heard that album, R? Pink Guy's Pink Season?
No, and this is the first I've heard.
Oh no, this wasn't Pink Guy's Pink Season. Okay, and I know what you mean. My brain died. Essentially, Pink Guy's Pink Season. The artist is Pink Guy. The album is Pink Season. It's a 35-track album. It's about 56 minutes long, and I don't know. Should I just say
56 minutes long? Holy crap!
And 35 tracks. Should I just say the first song title, Jay?
Go ahead.
Okay, the first song is called "Hot Nickel Ball on a Pussy."
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of awesome music you're expecting from this beautiful craft that is Pink Guy's Pink Season.
All right, we'll play this shiz then.
Not on here.
I can play a little bit of it.
Yes, intrigue me then.
Here we'll play the first seconds of the first track, okay?
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 seconds shouldn't get us in too much trouble.
Oh God.
Hot nickel ball on a pussy. There we go.
Oh God.
Let me lick that pussy, 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 I like the tiny pussy, let me lick that.
Okay, that was the first 20 seconds. But that's the opening track.
Let me lick that pussy, let me lick that pussy.
Well, you actually liked.
It's not a good album.
Actually, I don't know what. I can't actually think of anything. Unfortunately, so yeah, I guess no comment.
Yeah, that's essentially what you get. We also have songs like "Gays for Donald." There's also "Uber Pussy." Flex
So
like David Icke.
So exactly how do these artists manage to actually get into a professional level, quote
Because this is
unquote?
Filthy Frank.
Yeah, Filthy Frank is a YouTube personality, and the thing about Filthy Frank is that he does actually have talent. Like he's an okay, I'll say he's better than an okay producer. He's a pretty good producer, but he's actually a very good rapper. Well, his fans wanted him to make music, and his fans are like the worst. His fans are terrible. Save for a very small section of them. But because his fans wanted him to make music, he did. And some of the songs are legitimate, like all of them based on food. But some of these other ones are just terrible, and they're intended to be terrible. Like bad.
Well, I just learned something tonight then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's it's worth noting. I think you'll appreciate this. Arctic.
Yeah.
You know the song "White Is Right"?
Yeah.
I think it got taken off of Spotify because it's not on here.
Oh.
That's a really bad song. Like it. Yeah, 34 songs. It got taken off. But no, the entire album is just full of it's full of nothing but like pedophilia and like eating dogs and having a tiny penis, and it's a special thing. Hi, Ellie.
She's chasing dogs around the living room.
That's adorable.
Oh, it is.
Okay,
So
so
yeah, we've definitely covered the whole Milo topic. We've definitely covered the whole everything else, and I think we've done a really good job of stampeding through everything.
I'm upset that you didn't mention your favorite track off of Pink Guy's Pink Season album.
What? Shut the fuck up.
Oh, so okay, so you do. Okay. I was wondering if you even have one. Like,
Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're a
you're a stupid cunt.
that song is beautiful.
Yeah. It's a good thing we're not on the radio.
Yeah. I think we've dropped enough F-bombs to make sure to get our nice M tag next to this on iTunes for whenever he finally gets that done.
Yeah.
Did you just assume my productivity?
No, actually not at all.
3NP, episode 9, the N-word.
Yeah. I asked you to give me titles and you didn't give me titles, so I'm just going to start calling them like the most prominent thing in the
Well, I mean you did a great job with A Blizzard of Snowflakes, so I thought you had this on lock.
I think I still do. Because what did we talk about the most in that live stream?
Oh.
Hannah Montague and iDubbbz. What am I supposed to get from that?
So what's the next one going to be? Dear PewDiePie?
Possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. We need to like handle the names of this stuff on the freaking channel too. I think I'll do those in a bit.
Dear PewDiePie, go step on some Legos.
Dear Felix Gejelberg.
Shellberg.
Dear Felix Shellberger, please. There we go. So
Tap it,
I'm
tap it, tap it,
actually-
tap it, tap it.
yeah, I figure. Oh yeah, I forgot. That keyboard is directly in front of the mic.
Well, we didn't forget.
Oh no, because you guys got to hear that nice little rap tap tapping on my keyboard.
We knew firsthand. Check that out.
Oh, the jokes from this one. You guys, you guys are terrible. We are an extremely professional podcast. Thank you. We do a great job casting pods to this pod of casts. I don't know.
Welcome to the club.
There we go. I think I did a good job of I think I did a great job of at least, you know, not getting too offensive in that second half. So I think my lack of offensiveness in the second half of this podcast makes up for my offensiveness in the first half.
Okay.
I kept most of my
Say
offensive
so.
stuff to the comment section. Because I want my offensive stuff to be able to like be erased with the pushing of a button, and in this case, it's the pushing of the end stream.
It's still a button.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I absolutely love the whole fact that it just all that evidence goes away that quick.
You're trying.
Trying what?
You're trying.
Trying what?
You're trying to cover up all the random shit that you've said before.
Yeah.
Even though I tend to be a little more offensive.
Trying to steal my shtick.
Well, yeah, but I'm the one who screams foul words in the hallway, so
Yeah. Pigeon!
there you go. And I'm the one who could very easily make similar jokes to not quite similar, because my jokes that I can't make a joke quite identical to Milo's. That's why the only joke I can really bounce off that is, wow, he got that out of the way a year earlier than I did. So yeah, I'm good at being offensive. I'm so good. Anyways, I think that we've done a good job of like just hitting the end of this.
Yeah. I don't know why you didn't even just say something along the lines of, well, he sure knows how to take it up the ass. Anyway.
Man, I wish I was that talented.
Oh, God.
How to ending this.
Oh, fuck, I just shit my pants again. Did that work? Is that a good ending?
Big time.
We don't even do an outro, but that's just the end.
Gosh. Shit, it's 3:30 in the morning for Vidus. Poor Vidus. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Otherwise, he's not going to go to bed.
Off to a good start. Intimidation is key. Being burned on a motorcycle.
I saw that on Facebook and thought it was pertinent. Oh, wait, I need to tag Vidus to that. Crap.
You're welcome, Vidus! I'll pay attention to you. You're welcome, Vidus.
Thanks, Vidus. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, especially you, Vidus. You know, the wonderful person who is here live on our Wednesday stream on the 3 Nerds 1 channel.
Yeah.
Was that a good enough job at pitching our channel?
Sure.
We have 6 subscribers. Someone subscribed for us.
You You still can't fucking find us because of the Nerds 3 podcast.
Well, no, if you type in 3 Nerds 1 Channel, you get the channel. And we are actually the #1 result if you type that in.
Because that's what our podcast is named.
But you guys should definitely try to get some sort of profile pic sooner or later.
We need some art.
Give me a day or 5.
Just make sure you use the number 3 Nerds 1 Channel with a number. Otherwise, you'll get that first nerd cubed. So that's why I said we almost need to change the name of the podcast. But at the same point in time, I'm not sure it really matters at this point. I'm just gonna download the Nerd Cubed logo and just make that our logo. See if we get hit with a copyright strike.
That's a good idea.
Best.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I have been the great, the powerful, the unlikely heroine of the world, ArticJay. And you can find me at, if you go to YouTube and type in ArticJay, ArticJay, you can find me there, or you can find me on Twitter at ArticWolf2008. Who's next?
R, go for it.
Okay, well then, if you don't actually come to my main channel, oh crap, some stuff fell out of my wallet. And if you actually don't subscribe to me, nor if you don't actually go and follow me on Twitter, I will smack pound you. That's all I got.
Alrighty then. And I am apparently the all-powerful Lazrpo, as Jay constantly says, or the great and powerful Lazrpo. And you can find my YouTube channel. You can be our blissful peasant. You can be our you can be the magistrate of our tax office. But
actually, I don't have a problem with that, I guess.
All right, then there we have it. You can find my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Lazrpo, and you can find my Twitter at youtube.com. I did this last time. You can find my Twitter at twitter.com/sticky_treason. And that's about it for me.
I would rather be an attorney.
All right.
Besides, I still want to do what Phoenix Wright does with his objection and stuff.
Well, all right. Bye.